The whole subject today is about selling yourself. And I do not mean just selling yourself in the business world, or if you're a salesperson, or if you're anything in any way when it comes to business. Everyone sells in every way, but we don't do it very profoundly or epically. And I want to share with you how you can do that. But first of all, why or how do we sell, in fact? Well, every time we meet someone brand new or someone we know, we're selling ourselves. We're presenting ourselves in a certain way. We're communicating with people. So whether it be going into a new relationship, going on a date, you're selling who you are as a person. You don't see it as I'm trying to sell them something, but ultimately they're receiving a representation of you, your personality, your ideas in life, you're communicating. Or it could be in situations where you're in business and you're talking to salespeople, your boss. We're always selling to our boss in some way. Or it could be the person down the road. We're selling to ourselves, out to the world all the time. Even in our relationships to our siblings, to our father, our mother. Everything that we do, we're communicating our present state or our perspective of the world. Now, what I want to share with you, how you can communicate with things far more profoundly that gives your communication to be far more precise. In other words, when you say something, or however you do it in your words, your tonality, or how you physically come across, I'm trying to think, your physiology, that's the word I was after, you're always giving off something. Now, the problem is we're usually selling ourselves through what we think is right. Now, I'm not saying that we're wrong, but we have to understand everyone has a different means of understanding what is being said. So you could say something to your boss, you could say something to your partner, you could be the most loving person as in a relationship, and the communication you give to that person may not be received as profoundly as you wanted it to. So let me give you an example of this. If you're in a relationship, you may go, let's say from a guy's perspective, it could be female, doesn't really matter, but I want to go to the store, get some flowers for my wife, and I think that's like the most romantic, or maybe not the most romantic, but quite a nice thing to do to give to my wife. Now, so in my mind, that is absolutely good. So I do that, but maybe it wasn't as received as well, and I'm thinking, well, I thought that was a great idea. I thought that was a great communication of my love to my partner. But they're not receiving it in that way. They might do, depending on how they experience that communication. But we might be communicating the idea of love in a way which is not matching their criteria of love. So let me get into the specifics of this. So you may have even heard of it, of Love Language. It's a very big book, and I really highly recommend it if you want to learn more about love language and how we communicate with our partner and everything like that. But we can take that to many different things. Like even if you're going for a job, what you want to do is ask, what are the qualities that are needed to fulfill that job? What kind of things are you looking for? What kind of person do you want this to be? So when it comes to this job I'm going for, you ask that person, look, what kind of qualities does this person or this job require? So you begin to understand not just the job criteria, but the qualities of what it takes to be successful, or whether it be going for that promotion, or whether it be in business trying to sell someone something. Many salespeople try to sell the product, okay? They try to sell what the product does, and they think that product is the bee's knees, it's amazing. But they're not understanding what the customer really wants. So when I'm doing my trainings, okay, so to give you another example, when I'm doing my seminars and trainings, at the beginning of the seminar, I say, look, what do you want from this seminar that if you got fully and completely, or at least got the mindsets, the unconscious integrations that will allow you to achieve that in the near future, what would that be? What would be the thing that you'd really want? And they say, well, I want contentment, I want fulfillment, I want more motivation, I want more drive. And I start to write it up on the board. I start to write up all these things that my people on my event want to achieve. Now, rather just teaching my syllabus of the course, my seminar, like Be Your Potential or one of my NLP trainings or whatever it may be, I don't just stick to the syllabus anymore. I begin to communicate what they want by what they've just told me. I'm literally finding out their values. I'm finding out what they really want. This is exactly what we need to do. In our relationships, we want to be able to not just presume or project what we think their love language is or how they know they feel loved. We ask them. We go to our partner and say, look, I'm really curious. How do you know that you feel loved? And they may go, well, actually, it's about touch, like the way you hug me or the way you kiss me. Or they could say, well, every time you look at me in a certain way, that just makes me feel loved. And now we're like, wow, I've been trying to buy flowers, I've been trying to buy cars, houses, whatever it may be, and it's not sinking in with them. They might appreciate it, but it does not make them feel loved. So we ask exactly what they want, or we ask them how they know they are loved in the relationship situation. Now, this is great because at the end of the day, you want to figure out a better way of communicating. So this is about trying to understand your partner. There's about saying, do they like gestures or acts of appreciation, like service things, or do they appreciate words, or is it physical? Is it like touch? You begin to ask them exactly what makes them feel loved. If it's in business, you ask your client, well, how will you know you've made the best investment? What do you want from this? If you can't provide that service by what they've said, then you're at peace with that. And then you sell them something else, or you be able to fulfill their criteria. Whatever it is, rather trying to think we know what people want, whether it be in a mother-father relationship, whether it be in a sibling, children, whatever it is. I mean, it's great for children. You want to ask them how they know they feel loved or how they want to learn certain things. If it's in business or going for that job, you ask, look, what would be the kind of person that you want in this job? What kind of qualities? And if you can match those qualities and then bring those out of yourself, you're going to get that job much quicker. Obviously, you've got to be authentic in doing that and actually fulfilling that. There's not about, many people use this kind of information for negative things, like manipulative things. Now, if you're coming across as a genuine person and you're I can't even say the word. If you're genuinely wanting to love that person more or communicate more powerfully, or if you genuinely want to be able to provide a service to your customers, if you want to really help those in your life, even if when it comes to teaching, finding out what their learning strategy is, how they absorb information, you want to be able to figure out how they receive information, how they know that they're loved, how they know they're appreciated, how they know they want your products, or whatever it is. Fill in the different criteria, the different subject, the different area of life, or the different category of whatever you think. Consider asking certain questions. Understand your customers, understand your clients, understand your boss, understand your colleagues, understand your loved ones. Ask questions that allow you to get more information of how you can then communicate your truest self to that person. So to me, that's being far more authentic, because that means you're communicating in a way that is received. You might have to modify your behaviors. You might have to modify how things are done. But if you keep your intention I mean, think about it. If you're trying to buy a partner flowers and your intention is to share love or to express love in some way. Now, you might have to modify the behavior of that gesture. So maybe having asked them, it is the way you look at them or the way you speak to them in a certain tone, or it could be another gesture. I mean, it could literally be anything, but you ask them and then your intention is being fulfilled in a new behavior. It really just means you're helping or you're communicating to that person with such precise, epic love or work ethic, whatever it is, you're communicating to their language. We all communicate in different ways. This is so important because we get lost in our own communication. We get lost thinking that what we're doing is correct. Because that is, and by the way, there's why. Maybe we're trying to communicate to those people in our life through our own language. So maybe if it was buying flowers for someone, maybe that is your language, like the act of doing something or gesturing, and you're trying to communicate to this person through your love language, or like I said, change the subject to fit the arena. But ultimately, you're trying to communicate through what you think is right for you. What we have to do is communicate not through what we think is right, but communicate as to what they want. How do we do that? We ask bloomin' questions, okay? That's what we do. We begin to ask what they want, how they know they feel loved, how they know they feel fill in the blank. When you're going for that job interview, you ask what are the type of qualities this job actually needs. If you're talking about your brothers, sisters, you ask questions. And they're going to be, I mean, sometimes we get fearful about asking these questions. Do not be fearful, because this is about being open, that you want to learn to grow, to communicate more effectively to your partner, your sibling, your boss, whatever it is. If you do that, it shows initiative. It shows that you're learning and you want to grow, you want to expand the relationship. That relationship could be in anything, like I said, personal, business, in schooling, whatever it is. You're really getting clear, and it shows to that person that you're paying attention. And then you can communicate in a way which is far more profound than you could ever imagine. Trust me, please go ahead and do it. Make it your task today to ask one person something like that, like what makes them feel loved. Then you know. That means you're not just throwing all these different gestures at them, hoping one sticks. You're actually finding the one which will help that person or show love. And then go ahead and do it and ask, let's make it a game with your partner, for example, or a friend. If you want to improve your friendship with someone, ask each other that kind of question. And then you might be surprised, by the way. If, say, for example, in a relationship, your partner might be surprised. They might have been showing you all this love, but you weren't hearing it because it wasn't in your communication of how you know you feel love or appreciation. So it's going to be a mind-opening exercise for them. At the end of the day, we want to be able to assist people in getting them to understand what we really need. So Michelle said, can we watch this later? Absolutely. This will be up live. I'll actually be putting up to my podcast as well and on YouTube at a later date. But yes, when this broadcast is ended, you can actually go ahead and replay it. So, okay, so Connie said, since I'm so isolated, maybe this can help me learn to love myself. Absolutely. To learn to love yourself again, you figure out your qualities. You figure out what makes you sing. I mean, when you think about it, if you've listened to my stuff about finding your purpose, it's about understanding what makes you tick, your values, the things which make you sing and love and feel passion. Usually we try to find certain physical things or external things and try to think that may work. Sometimes we've got to go on the inside and figure out what makes us tick. What's the thing what really makes us sing and love life even more so? So I really hope you enjoy that. Was that valuable, by the way? If you found that valuable, go ahead on Periscope, put some hearts so I know that you're understand. Did I communicate in a way that allowed you to really resonate and receive that? There's a learning process for me all the time. Yeah, we got some hearts on Periscope, so that's good. And people are saying on Facebook they understood the message there. So I really want you to practice that. It's gonna really transform any form of relationship that you have, and that's in business, this in sales, it's in schools. You should definitely do this when you're speaking to, if you're a teacher, for example, or to your children or to your friends. This is what you do if you want to be able to communicate effectively. It's about not just throwing everything out there, it's about asking the right questions. Great, so we got some wonderful feedback on Facebook and also on Periscope. I really am pleased that you enjoyed this. And like I said at the beginning, I'm going to finish this in a few minutes. If you want to get access to my last live video, the high quality version, which has the hypnosis attached to it about complete relaxation, and it has like the hypnosis music in the background, go ahead and find my comment on this video. Hopefully people have been liking it, so it should show up at the top. Join the Joseph Clough group. That just means you'll get access, and to the first 300 people, you will get a brand new hypnosis track, which I do not sell, okay? It's only for those in the Joseph Clough Facebook group. So if you want the brand new high quality video of me and also the hypnosis track, go ahead and find the link. It's Sarah posted it on my behalf, but it will appear as Joseph Clough, and it just has a link to the group. You can join it, and then we'll approve you. I'm only approving people because I want to make sure we don't get all the spammers. And the whole idea is that Facebook algorithms, you only get to see 5-10% of all the things I put out there. This way you get to see far more of all the quality of the quantity of the videos that I do and the audios. And Sarah's also put in a video link there for how to find your purpose. So that's great. So what else was I going to say as well? Yes, you get a free hypnosis track there. So join it, go ahead and join the group. And that's going to be really, really important to be able to hold ourselves accountable. Sarah's going to be assisting me, as well as my dad as well, Paul, who's a trainer, is what I do. So Eyes here said that's not a workable link. So Sarah can go ahead and check that and edit it if need be. And okay, so people on Periscope didn't get the link either. If you go to Twitter, I'll get Sarah to put it onto Twitter. Okay, great. So I'm going to finish it here. We're going to modify that link if it isn't working. And I really look forward to speaking to you. I really hope you enjoyed that. It's going to be really important if you want to be able to communicate effectively. So with that in mind, have the most wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are around the world. We've got loads of people from different places. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow, 5:30 Central Time America, which is 6:30 East Coast, 3:30 West Coast, 11:30 UK time, and all the other time zones in the world. I don't know. If you can just figure that out for yourselves, that'd be great. So have a most wonderful evening, morning, day, and I'll speak to you soon, guys. Okay, bye-bye.